Where are Denise Huskins and Aaron Quinn now? Inside their lives 11 years after the Gone Girl kidnapping, Denise Huskins and Aaron Quinn gained national notoriety after police accused them of faking her kidnapping in March 2015. Need to know: Denise Huskins and Aaron Quinn were falsely accused of faking her 2015 kidnapping, which people liken to the plot of Gone Girl. Their attacker, Matthew Muller, was later arrested and sentenced to 40 years in prison for the crime. The couple, now married with 2 daughters, advocate for survivors and speak out against wrongful accusations. Denise Huskins and Aaron Quinn faced national scrutiny in 2015 when people accused them of faking her kidnapping, and likened their case to the psychological thriller book and movie Gone Girl. The couple were dating for less than 1 year when a man broke into Quinn's Vallejo, California, home and abducted Huskins, who was staying there, on March 23, 2015. Quinn contacted police and claimed that Huskins was held for $17,000 ransom, but police didn't believe him and instead suspected that he was to blame, similar to Ben Affleck's character in the movie. However, when Huskins safely returned 2 days later, police came up with a new theory: that Huskins and Quinn faked the kidnapping together. The two were publicly shamed for months before a detective believed their story and connected her kidnapping to a similar attempted kidnapping in an adjacent city. Shortly afterward, Matthew Muller was arrested and charged in connection with the kidnapping. Huskins and Quinn, who are now married with children, were the subjects of the popular 3-part Netflix docuseries American Nightmare, which hit the streamer in January 2024. Here's everything to know about where Denise Huskins and Aaron Quinn are now, as well as the truth behind the Gone Girl kidnapping. What was the Gone Girl kidnapping? On March 23, 2015, Quinn and Huskins were asleep in his home when at about 3 a.m. a man broke in and woke them up. The intruder ordered Huskins to bind Quinn with zip ties, then bound Huskins herself and put blacked-out swimming goggles and headphones playing recorded messages on the couple. The intruder then forced the couple to ingest a sedative, threatening to give it to them intravenously if they refused. The intruder informed Huskins and Quinn that she'd be taken for 48 hours and ordered Quinn to stay within a taped-off area of his home and to correspond with the intruders via text and email regarding ransom. The attacker said that cameras were watching and that if Quinn called the police, he'd kill Huskins. After waking up from the sedative the next afternoon, Quinn, fearful of being surveilled if he called police, called his older brother, who worked as an FBI agent. His brother instructed him to immediately call 911. Quinn followed his directions. When police arrived at Quinn's home, it had been about 9 hours since the abduction, and they questioned him as if he were a suspect in his girlfriend's disappearance. Investigators asked if Quinn was on drugs, to which he responded that he'd been drugged by the intruder, and also questioned Quinn as to why he waited several hours before calling them to report the incident. Quinn went with investigators to the police station to give a formal statement on the incident. In interrogation footage, one of the detectives asked Quinn if he was cheating on Huskins and about the status of their relationship. The detective told Quinn he didn't think he was being truthful and accused him of harming Huskins. An FBI agent administered a lie detector test, which they alleged that Quinn failed. Altogether, Quinn was held for questioning for 18 hours. The following day, Huskins contacted the San Francisco Chronicle with a proof of life message. On March 25, 2015, Huskins resurfaced, alive and seemingly well, in Huntington Beach, more than 400 miles from Vallejo. What happened to Huskins after she was abducted? In American Nightmare, Huskins recalled that her attacker raped her twice while she was being held for ransom. She said that after he assaulted her the first time, she told her captor how she'd been sexually abused as a child, hoping that it would deter him from doing so again, but that he still raped her a second time. He recorded videos of both incidents. Huskins also said that her captor told her that he was part of a larger organization and that there were other men involved with her abduction. When she was released in Huntington Beach, Huskins said she was still somewhat sedated from drugs her attacker gave her that day. Her attacker told her that she couldn't tell police that he was in the military, nor that she had sex with him, and that he would always be watching her. What did the police do after Huskins was found? When Huskins reappeared, the Vallejo Police Department held a press conference admonishing Huskins and Quinn for what they alleged was an orchestrated event and not a kidnapping. They claimed the couple had plundered valuable resources and owed the community an apology. She and Quinn both hired defense attorneys. Huskins and Quinn, both physical therapists, feared losing their jobs over the allegations. While the Vallejo police doubted their accounts, their attacker sent letters to the San Francisco Chronicle saying that Huskins was telling the truth. How did the gone girl kidnapper get caught? In Dublin, California, 40 miles from Vallejo, a couple woke up in the middle of the night on June 5, 2015, to an attacker. The woman called 911 while her husband fought the attacker off. The attacker left a cell phone and other evidence behind. Detective Misty Carausu traced the cell phone and connected it to Matthew Muller. She found evidence linking him to the Huskins case, including blacked-out swimming goggles with a blonde hair. Muller was arrested in June 2015. Who was the gone girl kidnapper? Matthew Muller is a former Marine and Harvard Law-educated immigration attorney. He suffered from Gulf War illness and was later diagnosed with bipolar disorder. He was disbarred in California. In September 2016, Muller pleaded guilty to 1 count of federal kidnapping and was sentenced to 40 years in prison. He also faced state charges. Where are Huskins and Quinn now? Quinn and Huskins sued the city of Vallejo in September 2015. In 2018, they settled with the city for $2.5 million. The city issued an apology. Quinn and Huskins married on September 29, 2018. They released the book Victim F, From Crime Victims to Suspects to Survivors in 2021. In March 2020, they welcomed their first daughter, Olivia. Their second daughter, Naomi, was born in November 2022. They advocate for survivors and those wrongfully accused. They appeared in the Netflix docuseries American Nightmare. Why did Muller target Huskins and Quinn? They still don't know why they were targeted but have chosen to focus on their family and moving forward. If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, please contact the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE or go to RAINN.org.